Song of Horror is an episodic survival horror series that began on Halloween of 2019. We're introduced to Daniel, who has arrived at the house of the famous author Sebastian Husher after being sent on an errand. Strangely, Sebastian has disappeared, and as Daniel enters his place, he hears the small tune of a music box that won't leave his head. This leads him to being stalked by a strange presence, and players must seek out a way to shake this curse. The entire narrative of Song of Horror finds Daniel as the narrator, but you surprisingly spend little time with him. The first episode finds him trapped inside a small room that he just can't escape from, so other characters must help him out. The following episodes follow Daniel, who must survive for the story to continue, but that doesn't mean others can't die. Song of Horror features a permadeath system with its characters. That's right, when a character dies, they're out of the story forever. Each episode introduces a new set of characters, and those who survived in earlier episodes make a return. Generally, when a character dies, they drop all of the items collected along the way and leave an icon on the map so you can find their items. However, if all the characters die, you must restart the episode. If you're playing as Daniel, you'll be alerted that his death will mean an immediate restart. This led me to be more careful than I normally would, which adds to the atmosphere and caused some jumpy moments. I was constantly ready to run or keep the presence out of the room I was in. On the other hand, it is extremely frustrating to spend hours on an episode to restart after a careless mistake. To add to this, there are these question mark icons on the map that could be good or bad. Most of them are harmless, but some can kill a character within moments. I wouldn't say I liked this feature, especially when it's not exactly clear what to do during the situations when the natural instinct is to interact with everything. It's a cheap trick to ensure that you lose a character, especially after being careful the entire episode. Thankfully, these aren't randomized so that you can avoid them during a separate playthrough. The presence that stalks you is the main enemy in the game. While it can always be felt, it will never outright attack you, and instead gives you time to hide or try to distance yourself. If confronted, a minigame is attempted where the failure leads to death. Surprisingly, I never felt like losing a character to one of these felt cheap. There's enough time given, and a loss is at the expense of the player. That said, they're pretty easy, so that could also be why I was okay with them. The static camera angles and visual design is reminiscent of classic survival horror. This lets the atmosphere carry the experience in terms of its scares. While there are plenty of jump scares, there are also so many times the house will creak and cause alarm. Casual exploration becomes tense even when there isn't danger present, which really sets the mood. Each character has an array of stats used to make them feel different, along with a passive item. The stats are speed, stealth, strength, and serenity. Speed lets you run faster and can get to a hiding place faster. Stealth lets characters wander around longer without running into unscripted attacks from the presence. Strength gives you an edge on slamming doors shut to keep you safe. Finally, Serenity allows a character to calm down faster and aid in the hiding minigame. These stats affect how you approach situations and will force you to alter your plans. Daniel is the most well-rounded character, but I gravitated towards the characters with higher stealth. However, one run-in with the presence could be the end for them. Song of Horror tries its best to be a swan song of survival horror and acts as a return to form. However, frustrating puzzles and random deaths cause unexpected hang-ups on the experience. Yes, I remember when saving was limited to ink ribbons, but at least there was a choice in that feature. Still, there's a lot to enjoy about this episodic nightmare. Noisy Pixel is giving Song of Horror a 7 out of 10. Thanks so much for watching. Stop by and read the full review over on noisypixel.net. Noisy Pixel is run by a group of gamers that work hard to deliver news, reviews, previews, and more. Please subscribe to keep up with all our future content.
Noisy Pixel.